Oh, Nishant has come today, and first time he's attending.
Hello.
Hi, Nishant. Hello. Okay, so if you remember what we spoke last time, we spoke about understanding the shadow self. It's one of the tough concept, always, right? And somehow we'll understand, but still we won't be able to get what is our shadow self. You know why? Because we've hidden it so well. That's the whole point. And the only way to understand that is observing people around us. Okay, so and then when the shadow self comes up, you don't have to do anything. It's just come to light. That's it. Okay, now from there, continuing. Today's topic is understanding what is psychological integration. Of course, every time whenever we discuss, we also discuss. When you're discussing, you need more than one person, right? That's called discussion. Otherwise it's called as retrospection. Okay. So I hope I'm not sitting here and retrospecting. I am doing the discussion here. So let's understand from your point, what is a psychological integration? Who? Nishant hand is up, so we'll have to ask Nishant.
No,
Tell
no,
me,
this
Nishant.
is about the previous thing that you said. What?
I know, but you got caught. Yes,
Yeah, I'm okay to be caught.
sure.
What is shadow self? What shadow self?
Shadow self.
What is that? I don't know.
Okay, so we'll do one thing. Let's not get into that discussion. I have
Okay.
put the link there. Maybe you can just go through that. Okay? But
Link in
that's
the
one of the
WhatsApp?
beautiful, yeah, in the
Okay,
group
okay,
itself I have put.
okay.
Okay?
Hmm.
It's one of the beautiful concepts which Carl Jung actually started talking about it. And it's definitely it forms during the inner child time, that is during the childhood time. And it'll always have something benefit, not exactly benefit, brilliance behind it. And we have hidden it so well, so we've hidden the brilliance also.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. I'll go through it. Thank you.
Yeah, just go through that.
And your question is, what is
Hmm.
psychological integration?
Understanding psychological integration. So, what is integration when it comes to psychology?
If I have to say it in one line, it is being aware of reality, accepting reality, and then finally surrendering to reality
Okay.
as is, not in terms of perception, as is.
Okay. So, nothing is right or wrong, when it comes to psychology, everything is as is, right? So we are not saying that this is wrong or right, because at some point it's always right. Okay, let's say this is a whole big book, and what you said was page number 78. Someone else's would be different page, but ultimately it's one book. Yeah. Okay, Navina.
Yeah. So, in my viewpoint, it is like integrating the different thoughts of yours, which is like also integrating the different personality of one's. We may be like with one person, I may have a different personality than on my behavior will be different with one person, and with other person it would be different because of the type of relationship that I have with that person. So integrating the different behavior of mine, and somewhat I feel that it's like integrating your different personalities, the inner child healing, which I feel like that is the integration part of it.
Okay, Anna.
One consciousness?
That is, when you integrate, it becomes one. That's
No,
what
I'm
you mean.
part of the collective consciousness. Like we are all one consciousness.
Okay. Anyone else want to say anything? Okay. So everybody is right. And yet nobody is complete. Because exactly what psychological integration is vast at different level of our bodies. Physical body, emotional body, thought body, energy body, spiritual body. So it has cognitive integration and personal integration, emotional integration, social integration, neurobiological integration, and what more? Psyche integration. And plenty more are there. It depends on at what level you are addressing it. Okay? But the integration says that we have too many scattered thoughts, too many scattered aspects we have. And actually speaking, we are all like scattered, broken and scattered, every aspect. And so we are not able to completely be that one whole. And when you make that whole thing as one, it will be the best. Let's say the best version it will become. But it's not possible for anybody because somewhere or the other we are really, broken and maybe one piece is missing if you look at it. Yeah. So different aspect of the self. Okay. And what happens is it includes even your memories and your emotions and thoughts and experiences and your belief system. Because belief is not exactly emotion, thoughts, or memories. Even it's not your experience. Then what is belief? Belief is again it can be part of the mind, but we don't know what it is. Right? It's like the rules what we have. So when we put together all of this and form a very understandable meaning out of it, okay? When you make it a balanced, very coherent whole, then we call as integration. Okay? So then we get grounded. And when you get grounded, you will be in the reality.
Can you repeat that last sentence? Then we become whole. Before that, what did you say?
So we have different part of ourselves, right?
Right.
We have experiences, we have memories, we have beliefs, and we have emotions, and we have so many things. And when we put together, because in every aspect of this, there is you. Very specifically, there is something about you. Right? So it's like in all of these parts, there is a theme which is you. Like, for example, my belief could be different from Naveen.
Papa.
Okay?
Papa.
And the same way, my experiences are different. My thoughts are different, my emotions are different, but all of them seems to have a kind of a same feel. Correct? That is my theme. So when we put all of these together, we will become more coherent, more me. We'll be able to showcase to the world also that this is me. There won't be confusion. So maybe you can call that as the best version of yourself. Okay, so if you observe any kind of therapy you do, any kind of work you do, any kind of experience you do, even you go for a trip and come back, there is a integration required of whatever happened for you to digest, for you to understand it, and to get benefit out of it. Even any event which happens, no, you need time to digest it. So why do we digest? Why do we say digest it? Or why do we say that I'm processing it? Okay, it's because we are trying to align that with the theme of me. Am I okay with that? Do I understand that? Is it as per my wish? Is it as per my belief? Is it good for me? Not conducive for me? All that I need to understand. Or what am I undergoing because of this situation and person or whatever? What am I undergoing? How do I deal with this? So this is all part of the process of what? Of integration. Now, in any process, in any situation, if you do not do the integration, we say it's incomplete. So I'm slowly stitching from one to another. So when in any, so we know that integration comes at the end. Correct? You agree with that? Of anything, integration is the end part. But when you're saying end, does this mean that something got over? Physically, it might have. In the physical reality, it might have got over. But still, in the end, unless you integrate it, it's not completed. So what happens when it's not completed? There is hurt, there is wound, there is not able to understand, there is confusion, and there is open end. And in such cases, such events, such people, they cannot be contributory to us. It's more of messing up with us than enabling us. But having said that, who should integrate? We should integrate. No one will integrate for us. So there is no thing about blaming others that they're not contributory, they're not enabling me, they're not. None of those is true because you are supposed to integrate. If you want it, you integrate it. Take your time, do the process. But make sure that this gives you this kind of understanding and make you a little bit of whole and complete. That is what is called psychological integration. Okay. So, no therapist, no caregiver, no friend, somebody who is a well-wisher of you, nobody can do integration for you. Integration is a very self process. They can only help you, that's all. But ultimately, doing yourself and becoming that whole and complete is your business. And you should do it. Okay? So, what happens when you integrate? That will be the next question. So, who would want to raise the hand and tell me?
We become whole.
Yeah. Whole means in Latin, it is healing, or in Greek. Healing is nothing but becoming whole and complete. So we heal. Correct? Now, there are different aspects in which we heal. One is if you just sit, retrospect, not discussion. We sit in retrospect on what happened with ourselves in that situation? How did it touched me, or how did I react? That itself is healing. Okay? Or sometimes we just hear the story. That is also healing. So, what body feels, okay, or the mind feels, the story is a narrative of that. Story is never true. Story is just a narrative of what is happening in the body and the mind. It's like a backdrop. So sometimes when you just hear the story or you tell the story, you will heal also. Integration happens because at different level you understand your own self. Yeah. So
Eshanye, one question. So when you say integration, that not necessarily bring in a positive, what do you call it, ending to anything.
integration is never neither positive nor negative. It is just collecting several fragments and putting it as one. Now, these several fragments could be based on what you underwent. It may have positive affirmations or negative things to face it, or you might have felt your fears, you might have got ashamed, you might have got embarrassed, but at the same time, you might have got praised and your confidence came out. So many things might have happened in that situation. Even if you take a therapy session, all of which happens.
So when you say integrations, does it mean that every single day, that because we go through different experiences every day, right? So today I finish the process, not necessarily that tomorrow something new is going to open up. So every day we need to have
See,
a closure.
it's not a rule that every day you are getting integrated.
Right.
As I said, there are incompletions also. Correct? At that time, we are not integrated enough. Sometimes, let's say somebody die and then there is so much of grief. How long you'll take to integrate? You may take 3 years,
We don't know. Yeah.
right? And after 10 years, 12 years after, one of my clients, 12 years after, I referred her to someone else who had lost a young child. And because I thought she's all, process done and things like that. But she came and told me it was so nice that I referred her, because then she realized that she still has it and she still need to process. So we don't know at what level the integration comes to us. We just need to be open, because that is what we call as growth. Right? We are never sorted out people. Please understand that. If you are a human being, then there is no concept that you are sorted. You are a work in progress until the end.
Yeah. Anytime. True.
Let us, in whatever incompletion, as much as possible, let's complete and let's integrate that.
Thank
You
you.
mean to say that if there's charges or
Pala, say
you
it
know,
again. I couldn't hear you properly.
as long as there's some charges,
Huh.
that means you're not integrated, right?
Yes, to a certain extent, because integration gets you peace.
Mm.
Integration makes you accepting something. Because supposedly it is at the end of something, right? It's like summarizing the meeting. And then you got the coherent idea of, okay, what happened? You got a clarity. And maybe that will make you, okay, these should be my next steps. But you got clarity and you got peace. And you kind of accepted quite a few things.
Mm.
At minimum, these three will be there. If any one of this has not happened, that means it's still incomplete. Yeah. So, one second, Nishan. So, non-integration, another question for all of you to think. Non-integration and incompletion, are they same? I'm sure a lot of people have the question, what is non-integration? It's easier to understand integration, but what is non-integration? Is there any such word? Yeah, apparently it is there. Okay. When you see, let's see what is the effect of non-integration, then you'll know. Okay, non-integration is you underwent whole thing, but you didn't integrate it. Okay. Now, what is that? So what happens is all the different parts did not get connected. It is non-integration. Okay. So you could not find the theme of you everywhere. So each thing you left it as its own islands. And that means you still fragmented. But you underwent the situation. So I cried. I understood why anybody did that. I also understood why I felt guilty. But I need to connect all of this. Otherwise, I have 3 different situations which I underwent. And I'll be totally confused, insane. This is what happens when there's a non-integration. Okay? Now, so you're a fragmented self at that time. And each one will lead into a different its own problems. Okay? What is incompletion? What is the result of incompletion?
Completion.
Say it, Pala.
Completion.
Completion.
Integration.
No. What is the result of incompletion? We're talking about non-integration and incompletion, right? Non-integration is fragmented part, right? In the psyche. Incompletion will lead you to have the trauma continuously going on.
Oh.
Like you are never able to accept somebody's death. Forever you are grieving. Forever you are not able to come out of it. Forever you feel weak. Or any other trauma for that matter. If you do not have an incompletion, there is no chance for healing. Classic example is boyfriends and girlfriends. These days, especially children keep on breaking up with boyfriends as well as girlfriends, of course, and they do not complete that relationship. So they'll jump into another relationship with the same trauma of the past. Even that cannot be fulfilling. Next relationship also will be traumatic because you cannot be fully somewhere because something is incomplete. Your energy, your thoughts are still there in the past. A life can be finished like that. Very unfulfilling life. So what we have to do it, both are important, right? Integration is important as well as completions are important. Incompletions will lead to non-integration 100%, but non-integration doesn't mean that there are incompletions. Okay? It's not mutually exclusive. So now, okay, unresolved issues can create fragmentations in people. You know how any fragmented people would appear. They're not able to take decisions. They're very confused and they feel not empowered. They don't have any power. Someone else have to decide for them. Someone else should tell them that, this is what it is for you. And they feel that they are incapable of a lot of things. They don't have confidence. But they can lead their life, very mediocre life. And it's not that in every field of our life, we are like that. Maybe all also, we don't know. But mostly in some fields, at least we will be. And that if the amount of trauma or experience, incompletion, if it is very high in that field, it can bring down all other field also. It's like fighting in my life for something. Fighting is also something coming out of it, okay? Fighting is also a good thing, actually. If you're not even fighting, you're like given up, then there is a huge incompletion which has to be handled to start off there, and then that will lead you to do the integration. Okay, so let us do a small little activity for understanding where have we not integrated ourselves, and also if there is any incompletions there. So the self work is to complete it and to integrate it for your own self. You do whatever techniques you know, or you don't even have to do sometimes any technique, just observe it, then you know that, hey, yeah, I get it now. I get it why it's happening like this. Yeah, that is also possible. And there's one more thing you have to understand, that when we are not integrated, when we are so fragmented, or when we are incomplete in our surrounding, in our surrounding, there'll be a lot of people who will be completing that for us. And sometimes you think that I don't know why I'm stuck with this boss. I don't know why I am undergoing this kind of experience in my house. Just because you are not completed something, they're completing. And until that happens, your association with them will continue. So in a way, they're balancing. It many times it happens between children and parents. So it is extremely essential that we keep completing our past, whatever that may be, happy or sad, both are same. Complete it fully and then integrate yourself so that you can be different in your life. Anna?
Ishani, can you explain how somebody else completes it for you? Like how a boss can?
Okay. So, I don't know, that boss could be a real bad example. Maybe you are completing your boss, that let's say that way. Maybe it's easier to see that. If somebody feels, let's assume that they're not good enough. Now, their part of the work, someone else will have to fulfill. Okay? So it's too much of a work for the other person. And they won't go away because this is a whole work. If you take it like a teamwork in the office, there'll be somebody who will be struggling their life out actually, and the other one happily enjoying. It's, if you look at it, there's always that something they're not doing. And it's not that they want to enjoy, that's why they're enjoying. There'll always be something for which they're not doing. Either they feel that they're not good enough, or they feel that I have to be the authoritative person. Then I know that in their family, they had a problem with the authoritative figures. So they're trying to be, a Superman. So things like that. So someone else will compensate for them. Classic example, if the father wanted to be a doctor and he didn't become, and the child will try to become the doctor. Yeah. And many times we keep hearing from these relationships that, yes, see, my boyfriend or my partner or husband, whoever, is coming from such a broken life. And so, I understand. Okay, you understand everything, but how much are you giving it so much now to fill that broken aspect, right? And it won't be nice for the partner. But because of some other contract, like we are to be together or we are raising our children, they will undergo. So these are the things when we make ourselves better more and more, we also give the other people good experience in their life. And we can do so much more better things than being busy in this aspect. Relationships will become better in all aspects. Yeah? So we'll just figure it out. Yes, Navina, tell me.
Was coming to my mind that is it that what is like suppose what is lack in us, the other person is completing. Like if
It's something like that.
so if suppose I am not being able to be courageous enough to speak for myself, say in the house, and my boss is suppose getting angry and angry, so it is teaching me how to show my anger and how to learn the lessons also. It is in a way, or no, I'm getting into
It is also a lesson, but not necessarily that you can take everything as, oh, I'm getting some lessons.
okay.
There are people around you need some amount of happiness from you. They don't want to keep on teaching you.
Right. So
So there has to be a balance. And for that balance, integration is required or completions are required.
right.
See, look at life as being balanced because life is never very nice, hunky dory.
Hmm.
But can you balance it out? That's all it is. It's always give and take. It's always, you may say, I have to compromise. Of course, someone else also will compromise for you. It's again the balance. And it's a beautiful blend of the balance. Then you will say that, hey, my life is nice. Okay, it's always good and bad in the life. Okay, so you all have a sheet, right?
Yes.
So in the center of the sheet, just write a small little circle and then just write me. I don't know whether you should write I or me. Grammatically, I think it's I. And that I is actually the integrated self, whole and complete. And it's in the center because that's what we are. In the center, we are supposed to be that. Okay, but our outer cover is cracking and outer cover is doing all kinds of stuff. So now, like we write the sun rays, no? Okay, don't write sun rays right now when I'm telling you. How many sun rays you should do, I'll tell you. So there are basically around 6 branches mainly, predominantly in our life. So one is thoughts and beliefs, other one is emotions and feelings, relationships and life, social life, past experiences, body and mind, spirituality and meaning. So how many? 6. Okay, so write equidistant 6 lines like sun rays. Why I'm saying equidistant? Because you will have enough space to fill in. Maybe what you can do is when you're writing, you can just write 2, 3 words there. And maybe in another sheet, you can explain the whole words for yourself. Okay. So each of these rays, in the end of the ray, like labeling or on the rays, you just write what I tell you. One ray is about thoughts and beliefs. As much as possible, do it very tiny, this thing, because you'll be able to write your stuff there. Okay. And the second one is emotions and feelings. Third one is relationships and social life. These are all very broad category. Okay, but when you're writing, you will specifically write about your life. So I'll come to that. And
Relationship and
social life.
social life.
Done. And the fourth one is past experiences. Sixth one is body and mind. Basically, how they're connected with each other. Connections. Body-mind connections. And the last one is spirituality and meaning. Meaning of life, basically. So we have 7 rays.
6, no?
Is there? So 1 thought and belief,
6.
2 emotions and feelings. Correct. I made a mistake of numbering here. Thank you. Okay, so you got 6. Correct? Now let's just
Yeah.
go through everything to understand it better. Thoughts and beliefs, like, for example, what is your self image? How do you come across as? Or world view. What do you think about this world? Okay? And what is your core value? You don't have to write it right now. Just first listen to me. Second is emotions and feelings, how they are. What's the difference between emotions and feelings? Emotions, you can explain it in with words, right? Sadness, happiness, anger, anxiety, and love, excitement. These are emotions. Then what are feelings? Feelings are what you feel in your body. The same emotions you will feel in the body, right? Butterfly in my stomach, my heart is beating a lot, I have cold feet. So many things we have, right? Shit scared. Yeah. So all of these are called as body feeling. And relationships and social life, of course, family, friends, and community. Nowadays, even what you showcase in your social media, your opinion. Past experience, unresolved issues, childhood memories, whatever you experienced which are in your memory. See, something happy will never fragment you. Please understand that. Something traumatic only fragments you because we don't want to feel the hurt. So immediately we fragment ourselves and we'll get lost. Like we want to be lost. We don't want to be mindful and hear the trauma. Okay? That's how we fragment. Then body and mind connections, your physical health, how is your stress level, who will give you stress, all kinds of things is coming under body and mind connection. That is very easy to write. Spirituality and meaning of life, personal growth, where do you feel you're at, and purpose of life. Are you thinking about it? Are you on it? All of this come under that. Okay, and be truthful because no one is going to see your sheet. So you can be very truthful about it. It'll only help you to collect yourself. As I said, collecting yourself is a huge process, but somewhere when you're aware of it, naturally a lot of things will happen also. Okay. Now let's see what is that you have to do it. You have to go through each of these rays and write at least few words and phrases. How do you feel about this aspect in yourself? Like, let's say, take the example of thoughts and beliefs. What kind of a self-image you have? And what other people think about you is what you think. Okay? Or some of the core values you can never compromise. Write 2 words at least. Okay? When we say thoughts and beliefs, what immediately comes to it's all about you only. Don't start writing about your husband or your wife or somebody, okay? About you. Okay, so you write 3 words and phrases. I would write probably like this, I it's difficult for me to show my emotions. Why? Because I think that is being composed. And it may be working out for me as a therapist. But that's the reality. Like how Nishant said, when you integrate it, you will be in the reality. Yes, it may be working out for me, but 100% sure it doesn't work out somewhere when it comes to my relationships. So, somewhere here, what is working for you won't work somewhere else. At least you need to be aware of it so that you can balance it out. When I'm a therapist, I don't have to be emotionally, responding because I need to be neutral. But when it comes to my own personal relationship, I better express. So if I know it, then I can change it. That is why I'm trying to tell you, write down at least 2-3 phrases what you think. Somebody can write, I struggle with anger, or somebody can say that I don't complete anything, any task, and it makes me feel that I'm incapable. So, write 2-3 phrases about thoughts and beliefs. Let's write first about that. Just take 1 minute and write 1 or 2 sentences you have. It's not necessary that you write only one. You can write many if you have. And after this session, also, you can go ahead and complete it if you want. Just work on it a week so that lot of things you will understand about yourself. It's a very beautiful way of understanding about yourself. And these things keep changing, okay? Next month, if you do it, definitely it would have changed more. Okay? And let's move to the next one, emotions and feelings. How do you handle anger? How do you handle sadness? All about emotions, you write it. And you may want to write something like this. The moment I want to argue, my mouth won't work only, and I cannot argue anything. I internalize everything into my body, and my body upsets. I have acidity, things like that. So, emotions and feelings. It's more of your writing about yourself in a sentence. When it comes to emotions and feelings, what do you think about yourself? Okay, so we move to the next one, relationships and social life. Let's give an example. I feel disconnected with my family. I feel I am not belonged. Social media is a mess for me. I get affected if I don't get heart for my reels. Or somebody's XYZ is giving me all the problem and I don't know how to solve with that. I feel I'm stuck in this relationship. I feel I'm incapable as a mother. It may not be true, but this is what we are thinking. This is where we are fragmented. It's genuinely what you feel about yourself. Next, we go to past experiences. There can be millions of, not millions, there'll be many, I'm sure, but maybe write 1 or 2 which is very strong. Maybe certain few things you would have resolved, but still, because it is the main contributor of who you are today, you'll always remember. It's okay to write that also. And the next one is body and mind connection. About your physical health. Forever and ever, I'm trying to become thin and I'm not. Or what else? This office gives me such stress, but there is a fear that I have to perform. And it's not allowing me to be with my family. I can easily get stressed out. When I get stressed, whatever I'm telling is not true with me, okay? This condition applies, star condition apply, I'm telling now only. Just telling. Whenever I get stressed out, I feel like smoking. Okay. So it's like that. Okay. Then comes the spirituality and meaning. Everybody think that they're very spiritual. Good. That means you are in connection with your soul. However, you have to look at us as a person how you have become because of those spiritual understanding. If you have problem and struggle, then that means you're definitely not at the spiritual level because your surrounding people are not there. And two people of different frequency cannot stay in one place. That means you are not spiritually evolved. It's like a mathematics theorem, no? Isn't it? Exactly, it is.
But don't opposites attract?
Not necessarily this way. At some point, opposites attract, but then equilibrium is never exactly character wise, it could be opposite. But then there is a peace which is equilibrium. And if there is a little bit up and down, one will pull the other up or pull the other down, or they'll go away. If you're still existing and you do not have the peace, there is still a lot to evolve spiritually because spirituality is about acceptance. But I'm not saying that you have to accept the abuse. You know, that is not spirituality, by the way. That's a sheer nonsense. But so, yes, Anna, tell me.
Yeah, in a relationship, you may not agree to anything that person say or may not like the habits, but you still love that person and accept them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So there is an acceptance of that. That is why you are okay to be with that person and love that person still. So that equilibrium is extremely important to understand for to know spirituality. That is what is balancing.
Ishanya, I have a question. When you're talking about this balancing in relationship, for example, between husband and wife, okay, so one partner, okay, he or she is trying their best to work on the relationship, whereas even that goes unnoticed, so the imbalance happens. So do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think that you have to accept the way they are,
No. First of all, accept the fact that there is imbalance.
right? And then
You are not trying to make the other person fine for you. Accept them and then understand there is a mismatch and what can be done. You can't change anybody, right?
we cannot, yeah.
So the best thing is, first of all, remove the expectation that they should be according to what you are expecting. And then work on the differences so that the balancing can happen.
I feel like I understand, but I don't understand.
Okay, say it again. Let us make you understand.
Okay, see, like we see marriage, for example, like even what are the people that we have different experiences. I'm sure we all have challenges and we keep working on that. Sometimes we feel resolved, then suddenly one day we feel that we are again, back in the square one. So have I worked on it? Does it really, we get this question in our mind. So is this something which is remaining? But however, certain experiences make us feel that yes, I am not where I was. I have moved on. Okay. when this understanding is there, but there is some part of you which makes you also to feel that, whether have I really worked on, or is it about the other person, their whatever they have to go through, which is affecting me?
See, 1 second. One thing I always understand is I want to look at myself how I'm feeling. Okay, they have to undergo. That is why I have to be like this as a teacher. I don't want to take that. I agree with that. But I don't want to take that because I want to improve my life.
Right.
Now, by the way, as a side effect, if I'm teaching them, well and good for them. But I don't want to be in a bad situation and teach them. I
So
want to come out of that bad situation.
have
Now,
the spotlight on us when you're confused.
now, always being happy is not life.
Right.
The strongest relationships are those which fight and resolve. So if you're only fighting, maybe then it goes to the abusive end. You're only loving, then it's very superficial, something else is happening. It has to be fight and resolve, fight and resolve. As a consequence of that, both will learn. You understand, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
This is where balancing comes into picture. Because the whole world or the 3D world, Earth's 3D world is supposedly in neon. That means it is balancing with opposite forces. Duality. Every other law is telling you that it has to be different, it has to be fought, or it has to be understood. Then only there can be balance. And it also have to be equally contributed in either way, bad or good. But can you come to an equilibrium? That is when equilibrium is complete acceptance of what the other person is and what I am doing. Both. Complete acceptance of what are the arrangement which is made. You give this much, I give this much. You take care of this, I take care of this. You go work, I will cook. These are all arrangements which we have come into. So there are agreements and arrangements only when it comes to relationship. If there are agreement and arrangements are not there, you're not in any relationship. And you should be okay with agreement and arrangements. That is what I'm telling you, accept that. The grossly misunderstood word is acceptance, actually. You understood, right? And so now you wrote all this. Some places you might have beautifully managed. Now, you look at this, we never wrote anything about money here. Because that is not life. Money is there everywhere. Everywhere money is there. Money is part of all of this. So money is a means to achieve all of this. Or a consequence. Now when you look at this, you know exactly where you want to work a little bit more. So my suggestion to all of you is, we are not dealing with, okay, let's see how we work on it. We are not dealing with there. This is only to find out how much have I fragmented. Do I understand this particular field of my life? And as per my understanding, am I there or not? That is all it is. So I encourage all of you every day look at this is called as integration map. Okay. So every day look at this, add something more or change something more. And you will slowly reach the center. That is all you need to do. Now, extra, will you do an affirmation for something or you take up a therapist? It all is up to you. This is only to understand where am I when it comes to whole and complete of me. And remember, you're all work in progress. And we will be until we die. So it is okay to keep adding more, to keep removing more, to keep changing more. Try to come to the balance. And that's what it is. Okay? So wonderful. We finished at 6:02 today also. But the concept, like shadow self, was a very difficult concept. So is integration. Integration, we use integration very loosely and very easily. But it's one of the most toughest understanding and most toughest procedure. Is not a joke. It's a collective of all the self work you're doing. If you do not integrate it, all the self work is useless. That is why it is required. Okay? Anybody has any question? If not, I'm going to close the meeting. Tick, tick 1, tick, tick 2, tick, tick
I
3.
had only a
Thank you, Eshanye. Thank you.
Hold on a minute. Rakshishri, tell me.
Ma'am, that sixth point, spiritual and meaning of life. How to write anything over there, ma'am? I didn't get that.
One of the easiest thing is this. People many times feel that they are on their life purpose. Most of the time, they don't feel that they're on their life purpose. What do you feel about yourself? You write it there. Sometimes they'll feel that I'm not doing anything in my life. Nothing. I just feel like a waste. Like that. First of all, try to understand what is spirituality for you. Most usually, what people think is, have I learned Reiki? Have I done that? Have I done this? Yeah, I am spiritual now. I want to be on the spiritual side, so I decided to learn this. That's not spirituality. Spirituality is trying to understand who you are. By understanding spirituality, you get a lot of confidence. That is for sure. Okay? Whatever you are physically, okay? All the things which is outside of that is spirituality.
Can you repeat it again?
I mean, physically, you are somebody, right? You have an identity, you are this, I look like this, I do this. Da, 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 da. All that which is outside of your physical reality is spirituality. At your energy level, at your emotion level, at your belief level, at your spirit level, at your values. I think next week we will talk about spirituality, okay? I'm finding spirituality is very difficult to understand also. Are you all feeling the same? Yeah, I'm just finding it a little difficult.
I feel totally heavy today, Eshanye.
Okay, Nitin.
I'm gone to blank zone out.
Isha, as you said, spirituality is all about knowing yourself. And when you do that work and know yourself, it is so beautiful. I think that's
Exactly.
all there is to it.
What I'm trying to think is, so far what we are doing every Tuesday, 5 o'clock is spirituality, according
Yes,
to me.
and I feel Reiki is not spirituality. It
Yeah,
is just
you're-
one of the ways to understand yourself, probably.
Yeah, that is true. So it's not necessary that you should be doing something which are popular, every now and then some popular modality mode will keep coming, but that's not necessarily spirituality. If you're physically present here, that means your spiritual self is also present. It may be hiding a little bit, or it's maybe not understood by you. Whatever, like that. Anyway, we'll do that. Next week is that, okay? And some small little activities we'll try to figure out to understand spiritual self. Of course, whatever we've done is so far is true, but to understand the meaning. Okay? Anyone else has a question? Rakshishri asked something. It's the 6th point something. Did you get the understanding, Rakshishri?
I mean, ma'am, like here we are writing about us only, right? I mean, all 6 points.
Everything is you only, not your neighbor. You. Okay?
So the meaning, how I give it a meaning, that I have to write. Right?
Think about it. What is spirituality for you is like that. And then you will feel that have I become very materialistic? Am I with all the people around me who's only looking out for making more money? Or it's not bad actually, you know what? Making money, all the bottom 3 chakras you satisfy, then you'll naturally become spiritual, is what I keep saying to people. Because we are here born to enjoy the bottom 3 chakras. Let's do that.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay?
Eshanye, please upload this video for today.
Huh?
I want this today's recording. I have to really go through this again.
You know, that sun diagram is what you need to populate it.
Yeah.
Every day, look at that and just add or change something. It will be phenomenal by next week. You'll know a lot of things about yourself, and that naturally will sort out a lot of things. Remember, you are work in progress, okay? So there is no hard and fast rule that by next week I should finish this. Not possible. Okay? Okay, take care, all of you. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you,
Thank
Eshanye.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Eshanye.
you all.